I had full intention to make this video juicy and start with something really interesting, but I think that's just my pressure of wanting to succeed at whatever I do. And currently that's YouTube. And I tend to beat myself up a bit about how I'm performing in certain areas in my life. Even though I wouldn't call myself an overachiever. Like, I was never one to be the best in school. As a matter of fact, I'm very comfortable being last in school. Me and the education system do not mix. I have a personal vendetta against school. I don't know why. I think I do know why. I know the logical kind of bullshit reason. It might not be bullshit, but I know that if we hate something, a strong dislike for something comes from a trauma or fear. And I have like this strong dislike for anything system based that's not mine. So, not necessarily like jobs per se. Depending on the job, I can really enjoy it. But school just hit me different. I have like two CXEs. In America, I guess that would be like I don't know what the equivalent for that would be. Um I think you guys have a diploma or something. I'm not sure. But usually when you finish school over here, you do about maybe 5 to 7 subjects average for your final examination, and you get certificates. And it's called a Caribbean Examination Council, I think, that hands them out. I have two of those, and I never went to university. I just don't like the concept of constantly being tested to see. This is my own ego speaking. I have a self-worth ego because of my abandonment and my family. My family was very goal oriented, and they didn't. Your value was determined on how well you did in life. I hated that. And I think that's why I rebelled. I rebelled because I don't like the fact that I can't be loved if I am not, quote unquote, successful through the eyes of society. In my opinion, your family should love you whether you're the most successful person, you have the most successful job, most degrees, or if you just do a basic job with no degrees. I don't see why your worth and your love should be placed on you or should be based on this worldly success, these concepts, because they're just concepts. I think school for me was like a prison that wanted to trap me in an unhappy life doing things I didn't want to do. It was never about my fulfillment, my personal development, or my personal growth. If you go back through history and you think about the jobs that people did, they were pretty close to the family. You know, if your father was a baker, you probably become a baker too. If the village needed like a carpenter, you would probably learn a bit of carpentry. It was very down to earth, close to reality. Now it feels like I have to fill my head with a shit ton of information that I am not going to use or really care about. So why would I do it? And the funny thing is, school doesn't necessarily predict earning potential. There are people that I see with degrees working as waiters at gas stations. Like, your education level can give you maybe a foot in a door, but there's no guarantee that education will make you rich or successful. Absolutely none. And for me, as a young person, I always understood that education doesn't really make anyone smarter. It gives them knowledge. And you can be very knowledgeable, but still be very stupid as a person. I've seen people with psychology degrees who have no understanding of their own self, their own ego. And they usually try and counsel people. And it's like, you're here to pass a test, recite words, and then you're given a qualification that says, hey, I know this information, so I can do this job. And what people have found out is that just because you've gained knowledge doesn't mean you're good at the job, which is why experience is usually sought after. I don't know where this education rap came from. I think it's just something I had to get off my chest, which is what these videos are for. I wanted to come here and talk about something like porn addiction or something juicy that the algorithm would love. But when I sit in front of the camera, I can only speak about what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what's on my mind, you know. I can't fabricate things for the algorithm just to get more likes or views. It's irritating, you know, because I want to do good at it. I'm very scientific. I look at my analytics, I look at my statistics, and I'm like, okay, some people aren't clicking on this video, some people aren't clicking on that video. What can I do? But I have to give myself grace. I am just starting out in YouTube. And maybe my videos or my type of videos won't hit anyone. They won't pick up any steam. But originally, I started this journey because I felt like, A, people needed more authenticity in this world. B, they needed more healing in this world. And 3, or C, it would be a good idea to reflect. And I don't write. So here I am. I don't want to say I can't do it for views. I can certainly make an interesting video about my past interactions with pornography and how that altered my mind and that sort of stuff. But usually when I'm here, I can only let my thoughts flow from wherever they are. And yeah, right now I'm just kind of frustrated that I can't do what the algorithm might need me to do to give my channel more views, because I want to succeed at everything I do. Everything I like to do. Gotta rephrase that. But I didn't go to university and I didn't even finish school. I just did those CXCs after school. I just stayed home. But I still was able to find a job and make more money than people who did have degrees. And it's very funny because when I was dating my wife, she was at university. The other people she was talking to, when she told them about me, they were like, so you want to date a broke artist? Because at that time I was doing photography. And I guess people kind of put a generalization over anyone who doesn't pursue academics, who doesn't pursue degrees. And because they didn't know me, I'm just a regular Barbadian guy with locks, with a camera taking photos. They're like, oh, okay, why won't you choose me? You know, look at me. I have like this great career path ahead of me. I'm going to be great. I'm going to do all this. That is how the guys at university were feeling, talking to my wife. But I had something that a lot of those guys didn't. And that was an alternative view on life. I could think outside the box. think outside the system. And I was very good at reflecting on myself about what I really wanted, about who I really am. I think metacognition, understanding self, is one of the most important factors in predicting long-term health, happiness, in my opinion. If you don't know yourself, how will you find out what you like or what you don't like or what you really want? A lot of these guys were in university just following a path that society told them was right. Their parents told them, hey, you should become a mathematician. Okay, dad, I'll go and do that. What do you really want? What do you really like? And I think it was the myth of normal that talked about authenticity versus acceptance. And that if you're a child and your parents value acceptance, meaning you fall in line more than showing your authentic self, usually you will come out in this world with a lot of self-doubt, with a lot of fear about how you will be seen in this world. Acceptance to some degree is necessary. I mean, you don't want your child completely wild, but you also want them to be able to express their authentic self. And I think me being able to know who I am, to not follow rules or to be different, is what drew my wife in, and to understand myself. So even though I wasn't pursuing degrees, making these, progressive, worldly, societal accepted decisions, I had something that a lot of people did not. And that was a deep insight into myself. And in the end, she understood that even though I was not academic, I am academic when you think about it. Most things I did on my own time involved lots of research, lots of practice. It's just that I'm not doing it in someone else's playground, in someone else's structure. I created my own structure. When I was learning software engineering, I had my structure. One day was HTML, CSS. The next day was JavaScript. And I switched it up. Instead of doing one day, one thing, I did like, okay, first, now I'll do like 3 hours HTML, CSS, and then 3 hours JavaScript. And I researched, the best videos, the best instructors, and I learned online. I create the structure for myself of what I want to do. I don't really tune into the noise of what society says I should do. I guess I have a low agreeableness score on the Big Five as well. I do things that make sense, and I always analyze my decisions, which is probably why I'm such a pain in the ass to people. Or I would be if I interacted with them. I'm very comfortable being alone. I created my own structure. I learned how I wanted to learn in my own way, at my own pace. And I ended up making more money than these guys who were in school doing their degrees, feeling superior over a piece of paper or a status. I find that because we want acceptance so much, we usually put ourselves as competition to other people, trying to climb a ladder, trying to prove our self-worth. I didn't like school for that. I didn't like school because it determined if you're good or bad based on how well you performed. All it was doing was preparing you to be a cog in a capitalist wheel. I'm not a communist. I think communism is a bit extreme. But I also don't think capitalism is healthy either. Why do we have billionaires? Why are we like praising people with billions of dollars when there are people starving? Why do we determine the value of people based on material gain? The janitor in your organization deserves the same amount as respect as a CEO. They're just people with feelings. I don't know why I'm so passionate this morning. This video was supposed to be about two things. Either I'm talking about what the algorithm likes, like money, pornography, whatever will get the most views, or how I'm uncomfortable, or I can't feed the algorithm because I have my own thoughts and feelings and I want to talk what I want to talk about. I guess it went the latter, because I am talking about what I want to talk about. It just landed on education. Your education, your job, does not determine your worth. Your worth is inherent. The moment you were born, you were given meaning. You were given energy. You were given influence. Your mere existence warps our current reality. That is important. I don't think we understand that just existing, we change the world around us in so many ways. Our value is inherent. We don't need to prove ourselves to other human beings. We just need to realize we are blessed. We are loved. Even if our parents abandoned us, inherently, we are loved by this universe, by God. Even if you're atheist, the mere fact that you exist, that you can think, that you can observe me talking to you, means that you are still loved. There are people that you don't know, people that you may never meet, who literally sit in meditation and send love to the world. It's called Buddhism, I think. Maybe. I think I'll cut this video short. Well, not really short. It's been like 19 minutes or something. I do not realize how long these videos get. I think I'm just talking for like 5 minutes. And then I look down and I'm like, oh, damn, it's 19 minutes already. Ugh. But thank you for joining me on my rant about education. I did not know it was going to go here, okay? It was just going to be about something the algorithm wants and my ability to do that because I want to share what I'm feeling or thinking. But, I come here, I sit, I let my emotions flow. This is a video journal that I have the pleasure of sharing with you. If you haven't already, check out my channel, subscribe. I'll link some videos that I think are relevant to this one at the end or down below. Have a blessed day.